Good morning and welcome to what will be a very busy edition of the Morning Line. We start things off as per usual with the Davo Directive. Bradley, what a fantastic weekend it was last weekend, and we roll Golden Slipper Day into Stakes Day tomorrow. How are you?
Yeah, good morning, Mark. Good morning, everyone. I'm well, thank you. Yeah, it was a terrific weekend last weekend, wasn't it? And I suppose the theme going into this week is: do we trust these internationals? Once again, Dubai Honour absolutely made a mess of our sort of wait for age horses there at 2,000 last weekend. So, do we trust them or do we stick with the locals? It's always a hard one doing the form, but I think I've gone with a couple of internationals throughout the day and then taken a few on as well.
Well, there are a couple of internationals going around in the TAB Australian Cup tomorrow that have had actually time to acclimatise. That's where we'll start. The Group 1 Wait for Age TAB Australian Cup worth $3 million at Flemington tomorrow. The rail will be out 8 metres on a soft 5 at this stage, but we should be getting to a good 4. Cascadian, do you think this market support that has come for him, Brad, is a bit of an overreaction after an eye-catching run last week? He's third up and we know he peaks then, but he's gotten in very short. Right You Are's got the picket fence at $6, and they're also about to look at winning the Blamey Stakes, non-conformist. Well, he's probably one of the most, maybe not unlucky horses not to win a Group 1, but perhaps he deserves one considering his prior form. Here he is fresh running a blinder in the Blamey. Lots of questions to be answered tomorrow at 4:20 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time.
Yep, he really exploded this day, didn't he? Was super impressive in the Blamey. Have a look at that last 200 metres. You don't normally see horses come away and win like that. So I thought this is one race I've got a bit of work to do on this morning still. But look, somewhat surprised, but at the same time with Cascadian, you know what you're going to get, don't you? He's just so honest and runs up to his mark every preparation. So you can almost say, okay, he's going to run to what he does at this stage of the preparation. So you put that there. Right You Are is just absolutely flying. Obviously, this is a stiffer test, but he just keeps raising the bar. And then you've got Nonconformist there who was so good there in the Blamey. And if he reproduces that, look out. So, like I said, one race I've got a bit of work to do still on this morning, but, respecting those at the top of the market.
I think it's tremendous to see a couple of 3-year-olds in this race, but gee, it's hard for a 3-year-old to win this race. I think the last one was Super Cool back in 2013, who quinelled it with another 3-year-old in 5.5 star, and then you have to go back a long way prior, and I think the last one prior to that might have been Saintly. So Virtuous Circle and Bankmore certainly have their work cut out for them. I think it's terrific to see with Mwanga and Maricino coming out, Campionessa getting a start. A lot of conjecture in the media about whether she was deserved of a start or not, and it came down to prize money in a recent period of time, and it's just because New Zealand prize money's nowhere up to Australian prize money levels that she missed out. But she's got A-class form. Just quickly on her getting a start, Davo, have you managed to have a look at her form?
Yeah, look, it definitely adds another dimension to the race. There's no doubt about that, Mark. So good that she's got into the race. I do like that average prize money, though. All the same, I like that idea. I do think, obviously the New Zealand horses are, it's not ideal being less prize money, but you could argue that there's probably less competition over there at stages as well. So I do think it's a good way to go, though. We do see a lot of horses miss out on ratings and whatnot that are up-and-comers. But the fact that it's in the field will make a lot of people on social media happy. There were plenty that were not happy about that during the week.
Moving on, Davo, to Rosehill Gardens Stakes Day tomorrow. What we referred to over these couple of weeks, we should start referring to Rosehill as the Garden of Eden. They're expecting a lot of rain in the Garden tomorrow, however, for their 10-race card. Davo, rail will be out 5 metres from the 1400 to the winning post. Out 4 metres, the remainder. We're currently on a good 4. Do you expect we'll get into that heavy range, or we'll be lucky to stay in a soft range? And here's the Vinery Stud Stakes. Prowess, speaking of Kiwis, Davo, is the $2.70 favourite we're going to have a look at, winning at Group 1, weight for age level, over a mile and a quarter last time out in the New Zealand Stakes. Just first, Dave, I'll take you back to your thoughts on the track.
Yeah, well, first of all, on the track, as we watch Prowess here in those yellow, black and white silks just fight off the canvas to get the job done against the older horses. Look, I think soft range is what I'm playing on. It's really hard though, isn't it? Forecast for some rain tonight and tomorrow, but how much we actually get is the query. It's so hard to work out in Sydney, but gee, this track would want to be able to take a little bit of water. The fact that we haven't really had much rain, we've had decent conditions of late. So I would think soft range, soft six, I'd be working off potentially there tomorrow, but it's always tricky to work that out. But look, the Vinery Stud Stakes, I think it's a race in two. I know Fireburn comes through the far lap, but I got a little query on her at 2,000 metres. So Prowess for me, narrowly ahead of Pravitra, who was outstanding in the Kembla Grange Classic and absolutely put her rivals to the sword there and has all upside to 2,000 metres third up as well. So, but Prowess just won the 6 from 8, won her last 4 and respecting that form, beating the older horses, including Le Creek last time out.
Papillon Club will go to the mole race tonight, I think the Sunline. So she comes out of the race. We're left with a field of 13 at this stage. We could potentially see more come out before tomorrow if the weather is a little worse than what it's expected to be. That's the Vinery Stud Stakes. On to the Group 2 Tulloch Stakes. Key lead up towards the Derby, Davo. $3.70 for Full of Sincerity was huge in the New Zealand Derby that we're about to see. In the blue cap, wearing the OTI colours. Awesome John's Titan right up to $4.60. But see the blue cap, white pom-pom, just about to come out and chase after Sharp and Smart. It's a very nice effort, and they've brought this guy over with a view towards a Derby. Often the New Zealand form can be very strong, Davo, but what are your thoughts about them back to 2,000 metres?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. He was obviously very, very good there behind Sharp and Smart in the Derby. We know that form stacks up in Australia for what Sharp and Smart did here in the spring. I just find it hard to take $3.70 considering he was 100 to 1 in the Derby, $64 prior to that, and about $41 prior to that as well. And really, if you take out that Derby run, I would mark him probably 30 to 1 here if you're being kind. So for me, I think he's a false favourite and really keen to take him on. And I think the stablemate Stroke of Luck and Awesome John are the two. We saw Stroke of Luck take easily account for Major Beale last time out. I think that horse is a query Major Beale at the 2,000 metres. And Awesome John, well, he comes through the right form. The far lap, he hit the line really well there. I know he goes 1,500 to 2,000, but he's had the 2 runs at the 15 to platform for this. So for me, the stablemates are the 2 to beat, and I'll be surprised if Full of Sincerity starts favourite there with that SP profile, which just doesn't give me any confidence whatsoever.
Stroke of Luck, of course, a half to a Derby win. I think it was Leicester, then went as Helene leading start to Hong Kong, but definitely a nice hope, the John O'Shea pair, in fact, both of them nice chances. Now, we've been standing by for your early play because it has to be said, Davo, whilst Montefilia didn't get the money last week, certainly ran bravely to run second, and those each-way punters might have been able to make a quid out of the race when you tipped her up. We're looking at the Kia Tancred Stakes tomorrow, Group 1 weight for age. It's going to be a terrifically intriguing race. A lot of people questioning the quality of the field, but it's going to be extra competitive, isn't it, Davo, this $1.5 million feature. Allegron and Benno are the early scratchings. We'll have a look at Montefilia running second last week. On the quick backup, firstly, what did you make of this run, and are we backing up again tomorrow, Davo?
Yeah, I thought she was terrific this day. I might get your thoughts on Cleveland after this, Mark. You got a really good handle on the internationals, and but look, I thought she was great. There's Gold Trip back on the inside, who did absolutely zero work in the run. She's pulled out 600 from home, got going early, and the last 300 metres she's going away from Gold Trip. So look, it's hard for me to see Gold Trip turning the tables. I know he gets the blinkers on, he gets the 2,400, and gets a bit more sting out of the track, sure, but that was a soft 5 there the other day on the track rating data that I get, and I think she's just as good on sort of soft 6, soft 7. That's about her pet trip. Go back to the Caulfield Cup in the spring, and Gold Trip beat her home, but I'm certain that if Montefilia got a clear crack at him from the top of the straight, she would have beaten Gold Trip and quite comfortably too. So for me, I'm surprised she's second favourite. I think she deserves to be a clear favourite here off that last start performance. She's got great backup form. She gets to 2,400 metres, tick, tick, tick. It all sets up beautifully, and she'll be in front of Gold Trip in the run as well. So Montefilia, for me, I think Knight's Orders, the danger rolling out in front. He might be able to pinch things, particularly if Sir Lucan comes out. as the stable are suggesting he may. I'll be a bit filthy if they do, because I think he's about a 40 to 1 pop, not $11. But you have to cop that deduction. But yeah, your thoughts on Cleveland? I just thought maybe, I mean, there is a bit of chatter around that they might keep him fresh and scratch for the Sydney Cup and keep him fresh for that race. But I just thought maybe better suited under the handicap conditions at 2 miles rather than wait for age at 2,400.
You're probably spot on there, Davo, especially coming out of the Cesarewitch, which is a handicap, the Irish Cesarewitch. He was very good, though. He gave a little over a stone to the winner from Aidan O'Brien's team in Waterville. He was very good there. He's lightly raced, and they've clearly taken time with him. He actually comes out of a Galway maiden behind Kyprios, who's the next staying star over in the UK and will probably go on to win a few more Gold Cups during Royal Ascot. His form's very good, but he certainly does look to be a horse on the up, and he also wasn't beaten too far in the Ballyroan Stakes by Gear Upper, another horse that's based itself here in Australia. So the form looks good, but also there looks to be a fair bit more upside. But like you said, Dave, I think wait for age and then back to handicap looks to be absolutely ideal for him. And I think they were just waiting on the track to see what it comes up as tomorrow. And if there's a bit of give in it, they'll probably go around it, according to the reports that we hear. But as we always say, Davo, it's why Saturday mornings are so important, to turn on the radio and listen to the guys on Sky Sports Radio Racing HQ and see what the latest is with the track, how conditions have come up, and of course those all-important early scratchings.
Yeah, 100%. So we look forward to that in the morning and look forward to waking up tomorrow and seeing what those track conditions will be, how much rain we get. It's supposed to come tonight and then tomorrow as well. So look, fingers crossed, not too much rain during race day, but really looking forward to this program. Rail out 5 metres. I think it'll be pretty fair though. Generally the 6 metre pad is sort of your prime spot there. So I think running line's actually going to be the place to be, which is where our tip Montefilia should be. Hopefully not 3 wide, hopefully in that running line, getting a beautiful cut into the race.
Davo, just whilst we have a couple of minutes, take us through your preparation for a Saturday morning before jumping onto the big stage with Andrew Martin and David Gately. Is it just about getting all the scratchings through? Do you have to reassess any races once the scratchings come through? Take us through a little bit of your early morning Saturday preparation.
Yeah, up about 6:30 mark and then just sort of get ready, be at the desk by 7 a.m. and starting to look at those things of the early scratchings coming through. Obviously, they don't get finalised to 7:30 a.m. So from there, it's about readjusting and looking at those speed maps, seeing what differences have been made, see what the bookies are doing as well. Often between that 7:30 to 8:30, they start letting a few more smart punters sort of play, and you can see a few little moves of action that may happen after 9 a.m. when those minimum bet laws kick in. So there's a bit of work to do there, and then it's just finalising selections, having another look at the weather, making sure that there's going to be no changing conditions today, and basically looking at the prices, readjusting my prices, and just getting it all set down nicely for the day, and then obviously getting the selections off to the team there at Sky Racing, and then driving in from the Central Coast, and away we go for the day.
On the big stage tomorrow afternoon, each and every Saturday, Andrew Martin, David Gately, and the one and only Brad Davidson. Go well tomorrow, Davo.
Thanks, Mark. All the best to everyone tomorrow. Should be a great day. Looking forward to it, and hopefully we can find a few winners. Go Montefilia.
Montefilia, $4.60 into $1.90 in the Group 1 Kia Tancred Stakes. We'll take a break. There's plenty more to come on the morning line. Next up, Lee Jordan from the VRC.